Understand that? I'm asking Taylor. Taylor, do you understand that?
No, I don't. I
Okay.
don't think.
All
I
right. Well,
said
wait. Well, I'm gonna tell you that the way that you're comporting yourself
they're
is
not.
so.
They're literally insulting
I'm
me
asking you if you're
directly.
aware of your part in this.
I'm literally just asking
Are
them
you aware?
what.
All right, so the answer is no. You're not
No, I
aware
have
of your
not
part in this.
insulted people here as they've done to
Are
me.
you? Are you
They
aware of
called
your?
me intellectually dishonest. They said I'm lying
Yes,
about my
they did.
credentials
That's how you.
multiple
Yes, you
times.
are lying.
And
So
I haven't said that to
just a minute.
anybody.
Hold on a second, Taylor. Taylor, I'm going to ask you a question. I want you to be quiet while I'm talking and just listen to it. Do you understand? Do you agree that you have a part in your interactions? That there is two pieces to this: you and the people you're talking to. We agree on that. I would hope.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you understand that you? Okay, I'm telling you that you are coming off as intellectually dishonest. You may
About
not.
what?
You may not
I
intend
need
to
to
be,
ask questions.
but you 100% are. Okay, that's feedback for you.
The opposition.
All right. If you cannot agree with me, you can say no. I'm divorced. You're wrong. I'm coming
Is
off.
it dishonest to question things?
It is dishonest to. Do you know what sea lioning is?
No.
Okay, sea lioning is when you ask a whole bunch of questions over and over and over as a kind of harassment.
Like they're doing to me?
No.
Oh yeah.
Just a minute.
they're not
Hold
doing
on.
that to me, they're doing it to
When
me.
you ask, wait, Taylor. When you ask Shoebill what instrument he used for his measurement, okay?
No, yes, you asked me that too.
That is what's that?
That's a perfectly fine question.
So there's nothing that you could do with that answer.
Yeah,
You
there is.
don't have the skill or the background to evaluate whether he used the tool or the right tool or not.
I wasn't gonna say use the wrong tool. I was just wondering what kind of system it.
Yes, I get that, but when you say that, it comes off as intensely dishonest.
No,
All
that
right?
was a
What
reasonable question. That was a reasonable question asked once.
So
I did
I
only
want-
ask once.
I'm telling. It's not a reasonable question for a person who can't interpret the answer. There
Then
is
how are we
no
gonna learn
answer
anything?
that she would be able to interpret correctly. I mean,
Then
you could
how-
say,
so we're not supposed to ask any
wait,
questions,
Taylor,
go ahead.
Taylor, I'm modding. So I want to make sure that we're clear on this. I'm telling you that you are coming off as dishonest, and that is why you may not intend to be, and that's fine. You may not actually be intellectually dishonest, and that's great. But that's how you are presenting yourself.
And you don't have anything to say to all
Why
these
you are
guys
getting
and
the
insulting
reaction
me.
you're getting.
You
All right,
have no comment to anybody else in here but me.
I'm
Okay.
telling you because people. So the reason why everybody was talking to you is because people had a lot of respect for you.
Yeah,
No, they
right.
Well,
don't.
one of the-
What?
As an example, as an example of some things that Taylor has clung to, which is trigger, is that we don't understand refraction, or we're not modeling refraction, we're not measuring refraction well enough so that the flat Earth
Another attack.
only looks
So we're going
curved
back in
due to.
circles.
Wait, Taylor, let him finish.
Wait, hold on.
I've heard you say that the whole thing with curvature is a misinterpretation of refraction.
Prerogative to say that.
Yeah, I know. And that's the offensive part,
Fine.
because when trying to discuss with you that we have measured refraction, we do employ refraction, and the curvature of the Earth is measured, and refraction is involved, that increases the radius, the apparent radius, and you said, whoa, you didn't take all the variables. Oh, you got humidity. Is the pressure lower at the surface than the higher at the surface? Yeah, it's like round and round you go. And I said, no, it's been measured, it's been modeled, and to sufficient accuracies to return elevations by zenith angles and using refraction and the known radius of the Earth. And you seem to say, whoa, you doubted it.
Okay.
I also have a point to make here.
All right. I'm going to finish this up. I'm going to go on mute. Taylor, I'm telling you that that this is the way you're coming off. I realize you believe it is justified. Okay. Whether or not I don't have the ultimate power to tell you if it's justified or not. But I am telling you that is how you are presenting yourself. If
Do you
it were
think the way
me,
your people are acting are justified though?
if it were me, I would choose to present myself in a different fashion. And that's something I am in honestly good faith asking you because these people gave you a lot of respect.
And you
Who?
should say thank you, Taylor.
Can I make a point? You
Well, I
do
want to
not
let, I
hear
want to
for
let people
education.
get in. I've had some people on mute. I want to
clown.
let them get in. So take
Okay.
your point, but make it quickly.
Just for them to bring
Okay,
it.
my point would be, Taylor, you're not here seeking information. If you were seeking information, you'd be off reading a textbook. You don't learn the stuff from your courses by going into a Discord server and then muttering when your lecturer is trying to explain concepts to you. That is not how learning is done. And your assertion here as an alleged professional student that you are here in an attempt to increase your information base comes off as implausible and disrespectful. You wouldn't act that way in a class. If you want to learn stuff, you apparently won't believe us when we say
Come on,
stuff.
Tony.
Go and read a textbook.
Okay, we got it.
That's
We got it.
basically, I just want to say that's precisely why I think, Taylor, you were being dishonest.
Yeah,
Is
so
that
that's
you're
why.
not actually here to ask questions and
Same thing over and over.
legitimately learn.
So,
Right.
so
So,
Taylor,
Do you want
that's
to
why-
hear something new?
y'all just getting onto a grown-up for doing what she's supposed to do in a debate setting because you guys interpret what she did as something as a travesty to your personal feelings. Is that what
Do
I'm
we
getting?
need
they're-
another hickaxe
they're
and Bible
miniature
thumping idiot
gods.
chiming in?
These are miniature gods. They have to get their way.
10-on-1 is what they want.
Why is the Blue Origin rocket not
Oh, now
possible?
we got left lane. Left lane's going to defend.
Oh, come on,
that
Steve. Why is the
Trinitarian-
Blue Origin rocket not possible?
Well, oh my God, why is
Because
it
it
not
looks like a
possible?
penis?
Thank you. Somebody said it. Somebody.
They got windows. I mean, oh my
And we all know
God.
penises cannot fly. I mean,
Exactly.
Wait a minute. The Romans did draw winged penises.
they did?
Yeah, I'm sure they did. You
They
devil
drew them as
bastard.
graffiti. I think we may have to revisit that conclusion.
A
So
lot of
Steve,
Interesting. Then I fake news myself.
so Steve, what is it you wanted to say? I'm giving you a chance here. Go ahead.
Hey, listen, I was hoping you guys would let Taylor have a decent conversation. She seems like a nice young lady that would be nice to have a conversation with. I'm pretty sure I could have a decent conversation with her. But
Okay.
you guys come with your
Oh,
God
dude.
Almighty bullshit math, and the tool. She asked, "Oh, what tool?" See, when I invoke a tool, I want to see the mechanical drawing. Have you guys ever looked at mechanical drawings on a tool? Like any tool you invoke, I want to see the information you're using, because more than likely you're using some form of frequency. See, so I want to know what tool you're using, and I want to know how
Okay.
you're applying it. So
Okay.
yeah,
So we can
Try
have
having
Steve.
try having an intelligent conversation.
I got you. I
instead of
got you.
some arrogant math formula.
We get it. We get it. So here's what I'm going to recommend. If you want to talk about how the tools are used to do these
No.
measurements, hold on a second.
No, that's not you. No, you're fucking lying. I said, hey, have a
Just a second.
conversation with
Let
her.
me finish.
You
Let me
just
finish,
questioned her
Steve.
2 seconds ago
Steve.
because she asked about a tool. And now you're
Steve.
fucking trying to throw that in my face? No,
Steve.
go fuck yourself.
Okay,
I
I
think I
got it.
just found a tool.
So Steve, if you want to talk about how tools are used, I'm going to guess that it's in surveying. We have Shoebill here.
yeah.
Hold on a second. Hold on. And I would like to go back and forth. You to go back and forth with Shoebill, and you can ask questions because I believe you think you have some background in tool use for like surveying. Is that true?
No, I'm not a surveyor.
Well, do you have? So, what is your? How? I'm suggesting that we can talk
I know
about
how
how the tools are used.
I know how to run what you call a transit, or what do you guys call them? Oh,
Okay.
a throttle. I know how to run a throttle.
Okay, all right, there you
Yeah,
go.
you know how to turn an angle,
Steve?
Omni? Hey, Omni,
Steve.
you know how to turn an angle with a theodolite?
So,
Yes or
I
no?
know how to
Yes or
measure
no?
an angle with a theodolite.
Omni. If we're going to talk about tools, we want to
Okay.
know if you're familiar with them.
So,
Are you
wait a
know how to,
minute.
you know
Hold
how
on,
Omni, yes or no?
He won't be
Yes or
quiet
no?
now. He's not
Yes
gonna-
Okay,
yes or
do
no?
what you say you
Yes,
want. Okay,
yes
hang on,
or
we gotta
no?
get to somebody else. Okay, Grotesque, what did you want to say? Is that do you have the floor for a minute here?
But the whole thing about tools was, Taylor has asked, what did you use? Describe. And that's a reasonable question asked once, right? And then, maybe a little more detail in it because she also had bought a total station or digital theodolite. And so, yeah, that's a reasonable part of the discussion. But again, then she says, oh, you're not taking, when presented with measurement of curvature, she says, oh, that's because you don't understand refraction.
Yeah, well, that's not great, but I understand that. The reason why I found that to be a problem in that case is because it's asked as a challenge. It's not asked to try to figure out how could I do that. I took these measurements, and it's asked to challenge whether or not the measurements are legit. But the base of knowledge to know if that's the right or wrong tool, she doesn't have. So, Grotesque, you talked about being muted. I don't know if you can hear me, but your show is being
I
off
wasn't trying to say
mute.
he's wrong too.
Yeah, what do
So-
you want, man?
Can you? I'm giving you a chance to say whatever it is you want to say.
Yeah, I lost that fucking idea a long time ago. I
Okay.
don't care.
All right.
This place
Okay.
sucks.
Can I suggest something? Can we just move on from Taylor?
Yeah, I mean that's fine. If Taylor, if you don't want to be moved on from, I suggest you consider how your approach may.
I've got a great idea, actually. You just reminded me. Thank you. How about you guys stop saying the word Taylor all fucking night?
Yep.
How about you just let her not have to be part of the conversation unless she wants to be?
I agree.
Taylor,
I think that's a good idea,
Tay.
actually.
So
Okay.
stop addressing her.
I second.
Like the 20 of you, stop fucking obsessing over this person.
I have a
Get on with
question
it.
then. I have a
Taylor.
question then.
It's because it's a
I have a
woman.
question then. Is she trapped in this server? Like, is she
She's
unable
No,
to
trapped
she's
in
not
here with
trapped in
you,
the server.
apparently.
She's not trapped
Well,
in the server.
so
She
she
wants to have-
can't leave. So she can't choose to leave. She's
she-
forced
come
to be
on.
here. Is that
all
what's
right.
going on?
So
No,
I've been wanting to.
if
I
she's
think-
so unhappy and we're treating her so badly,
No, I
she
think at
could
this
leave,
point it's
but she
mostly the
chose not
spectacle.
to.
Actually, I
Okay.
agree
Like
with
the
I agree with
spectacle of a
Grotesque
bunch of
here.
geriatric
Tony,
fucking
Tony,
obsessive
and
move
weirdos.
on.
I agree with
And
Grotesque.
stop saying her
Let's
name.
move on from this and not
Yeah.
and we don't need to use
Let's have an,
specific names for people who aren't in the conversation.
Yeah.
I think that's great. Okay.
let's have an intelligent conversation.
I've got a question. Are there any biblical literalists in the chat?
Biblical, literally. Why the fuck are we going to biblical now? Where the fuck? You don't know shit about God, so you have a really struggle with physics. I mean, why would you bring that up? Are you
I have a question for people who think that the account of Genesis literally happened.
Well, it sure as hell didn't happen in a big bang, so why don't you go on? Let's go on.
you feel
Bring
it?
a question to the floor. You don't
feel
need to
it?
invoke God.
Feel it?
You guys are the most ungodly Christians in the world in here.
I was trying to ask the question.
Yeah,
I was trying to ask the
I
question.
made a very simple answer.
Sun across the sky.
Yeah,
What
whatever.
if- If the sun had not been created until the fourth day, how was day?
I still think they would fall on deaf ears.
Does the Bible not mention how data was defined?
In that a day is 86,400 seconds long, and that God was keeping count of how many seconds had passed, because it's trivial for him because he's omniscient. And so the fourth day was after what, 259,200 seconds.
Whatever. My turn. My God. You just invoked the weak force is the decaying force. And I just mentioned. Oh, now that's the definition of entropy. Follow?
No, it
See,
isn't,
That's how you guys.
sir.
That's even how you guys carbon date.
No,
So
it
there's quite a
isn't,
few
sir.
things. Wait a minute. You're telling me your carbon dating isn't decay? What are you saying?
What I'm saying, sir, is that radiocarbon dating is not based on neutron emission. So it's got nothing to do with radiocarbon dating.
Okay.
Else had your concern about dark matter. So believe it or not, I'm not making this up. He came up with a double Big Bang. In other words, the first Big Bang, and then right after the Big Bang, I believe he said 100,000 years, there was a dark matter bang. So look into that one.
Okay.
Crazy.
All right. That one I haven't heard of, but yeah, I believe you. I believe you. You've definitely been able to do, when you've researched something, I found you to be correct in what you found. So
Yeah.
Another
I'm not
thing-
going to lie about that. Also, check out another one, another professor here in the University of Ottawa. He doubled the size of the universe. I don't know if you heard that one. You must have heard that one.
Oh yeah, I did hear about that. I haven't really looked into it until more research gets put into that. Because from now that I'm thinking about it, his theory would basically requires the theory of the tired light theory that has not been observed on any sort of timescale. So he is, if my memory is correct, which it very well may not be, his supposition is that energy decreases with or light decreases with energy as it propagates, which would mean that our redshift measurements would be off by a factor of 2. But that underlying assumption that light loses energy as a function of time has never been observed in any other situation. So,
Yo, SC, bring up the 5 sigma.
Oh yeah, the 5 sigma. Yeah, you must have heard that one scientist, prominent one, I forgot his name. I can get it though. He says that he disproved dark matter by a magnitude of 5 sigma. You heard of that one?
no, I didn't. I would need to know in specific what he was referring to.
Right. He's referring to how 2 galaxies merged.
Okay.
And the way that they merge doesn't give credence to dark matter. I don't remember exactly the details, to be honest with you, but yeah.
It has to do with the Big Bang Theory too, but the 5 sigma is a statistical analysis on the probability. Or
yeah, I'm aware of what
the
the 5 sigma event would mean.
Yeah, so it deviates away at least 5 times.
Well, what that means is out of 3.5 million times, like one, you can get it once wrong. Like the probability is like 3.5 million to 1. I'm sure Professor and a PhD could correct me on that if I'm wrong.
5 standard deviations away from the hold on, 5 standard deviations away from the expected result.
Yes. So, again, I would need to look at specifically what he's talking about in terms of the collision of the 2 galaxies. I mean, it could be that he discovered that the speeds of the stars or the speeds of the gas of the 2 colliding galaxies was slower than would be predicted by a factor of 5 sigma.
Exactly.
That could be what's going on. Like I said, I would really need to see the paper and read it.
It was, I can tell you it was Professor Kupa. And he said
University of Ottawa.
He said that it was how these galaxies fly through each other was too fast. Like they expected them to fly through like molasses, but
okay. Like the dark matter doesn't seem to be there the way they flowed through. Yeah.
New study challenges the current model of the universe by showing that, in fact, there's no room for dark matter. Is this I don't know if this is the paper, but it's definitely. I'm on a website that is fairly technical and is talking about Dr. Kupa, and let me see here. Maybe it's this one. Cosmological. Yeah, so this paper, I don't know if it's the same one, but he's referring to, or he's using a combination of tired light theory with lambda CDM. So he's including in his explanation for this particular paper something that has never been observed. But that may not be what you are referring to with the 5 sigma thing.
No, the tired light is something else. It's another good one. Tired light, yeah.
No, this actually, hold on. Published today.
Well, what do we have here?
I don't know. Like I said, we can do it. I'll get back to you.
Yeah, that's the honest thing to do. Yeah. You don't know something, you look into it, and that's that. Yeah.
I heard this is the opposite of the flat Earth Discord. Yes, and you want to disprove that Venus is a ball. That's
No, we
what
want
you
you to
want.
prove. No, we want you to prove. I mean, are you
There's
deaf? My
orbs and they
God.
block light.
Okay, so we have an observation. Also, the sun doesn't change size as it passes overhead.
Also, because of the fact that they're in long wavelengths, you actually get phase information independently. So
About how these distances could be achieved, part of that involved
flat earthers are the ones who deny this. Level, basic understanding of sound reasoning. And if you approach from the base level, if we start at ground zero and look at the scientific method, and then you try and figure these things out using that scientific method, the rigid characteristics of that scientific method, you cannot do any of these, you cannot come to any of these conclusions.
What is the
with that
scientific
in mind.
method?
How is that? How does that work?
well, he said hit, but yeah, actually, I'm giving him more because if you talk about the entire spacecraft, then it's going to be more than 4 particles per second hitting.
960 rems.
All they need.
Let me answer the question. What country doesn't believe in the moon landing?
Well, in a recent poll, 2019.
Watch a section of a funny thing happen and then watch the debunk, right? Section by
the overarching control of the situation is to have no control of the situation.
You know, are you aware that that was the conversation then, or the integration of the military? Go back to Truman. So no,
You get bullied less.
You know, but I'm going to be real with you, hon. As much as I didn't like being bullied.
Actually exist in the intermediate range between the singularity.
So does it just, if it had eyes, would it just see white?
They have them, but if you for example see how the movement to Poland in school.
But
what
what did he mean by that?